Hey, what's up guys? Phoenix here. This video is going to be another YGOpro duel video, and this time I'm playing with a little bit of something different in terms of an option that you can play in the TCG metagame. Now specifically, you can only play this in North American territories or Japan, but in Japan you're obviously going to be playing OCG cards, but you can only play it in North America because the card that facilitates this deck being possible and actually decent is a North American release exclusive. In Europe they do not have this card yet, much like they didn't have Utopia the Lightning for a while. But this is a Igknight FTK variant, and it's not a true FTK by the stretch of you're killing your opponent turn 1, but you do not allow your opponent to play utilizing the card you see on screen right now, number S0 Hope ZEXAL. Now, this is something that there's a Canadian player that has actually done decently well at a few regionals with deck lists resembling the one you see on screen. I think he's even top-8'd 2 of them, and it's basically just a very potent deck that's very sort of resilient in terms of there's not really many things turn 1 that stop it, and like you just don't let your opponent play on their first turn, and that's actually really cool. But the deck is basically a spiritual successor to Igknight FTK. It's not a true FTK, like I said. The other FTK, the true Igknight FTK deck, requires you to play things like Blaze Phoenix and all of this other stuff. There's a lot of mismatched pieces in your main deck that facilitate the FTK, but you end up burning your opponent out of the game on your first turn, and it's very susceptible to hand traps and stuff like that. Whereas this, on the other hand, is not a true FTK, but it is very resilient to certain things like hand traps. Now, it's not the best against hand traps, but you're not putting all your eggs in one single basket. You are still going to be, having a pendulum deck resource. You're still going to be able to have access into Xyz monsters and stuff of the like, but the main focus of this deck is to summon this card, and you usually do so with 4 materials using a combo that I will hopefully show in the video. So I'm not going to go into any extreme depths talking about it here, but this card's effect is this card's original rank is always treated as 1. It takes 3 number Xyz monsters with the same rank, but you don't summon it that way. You summon it with its secondary method, which is you can also Xyz summon this card by discarding 1 rank up magic normal spell card and using a Utopia monster you control as the Xyz material. The Xyz materials become attached to this monster. This card's Xyz summon cannot be negated. When Xyz summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards and effects. This card gains 1,000 attack and defense for each Xyz material attached to it. Once per turn during either player's turn, or once per turn during your opponent's turn, my mistake, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of the turn. This is a quick effect. So during your opponent's draw phase, you activate this effect, detach a material. It goes down by 1,000 attack, but your opponent cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of their turn, which is basically huge, and that's the entire purpose of this deck's main focus. But I'm not going to blather on too much more about this. Basically, just showing you how it works is the best way to make it basically understandable using Argent Chaos Force and stuff of the like. I'll just explain that more in depth in the games that follow. So let's just not waste any more time, and let us just jump right into the first game, shall we? Alright, so as you may have gathered from the title of this video and the fact that I didn't mention it in the intro, I am actually able to play on YGOpro with my friends again. So, luckily, that's actually not that big of an issue. But he's playing Herald, which means I'm going to be having some problems there, and the deck itself seems to have had some functionality problems. But I could actually utilize this to my advantage in some way, shape, or form. I can activate this when he has Herald on board, and then he negates it. If he negates the activation of the card itself, it'll go to the graveyard, meaning I can then play Instant Fusion and then try to get value there. So I know he's playing Herald, but it looks like he's playing a Necros engine in here as well. So summoning or using Brio's effect to add Colossalus after adding it off Manju, using Colossalus effect to add probably Cycle or Kaleidoscope. Okay, so Kaleidoscope, which means that he probably already has Unicorn, or Instant Fusion for Norden to do what now? Fairy Cheer Girl? I don't know if that one is the most optimal play, but so that does that. That lets him draw a card. Does he have access into Unicorn? I can only assume that he would if he added Kaleidoscope. So yeah, Kaleidoscope for Unicorn, and the Arclight gets summoned, thus allowing him to search for Dawn of the Herald, which means now that if he has a way to get Benton into circulation, which there it is, pre-prep, or not pre-prep, just prep. So he gets to add Benton, and he gets to add back like Kaleidoscope if he wants to. That means he can recycle Unicore with something like Digesto Emerald, and then still be able to add it and use it. So this is actually really cool. He's got Herald plus Unicore. Unicore essentially being a searchable floodgate because you get to summon Manju and search it, and then you can search Kaleidoscope off of Ritual Sanctuary. So it's very easy to access, and so you just have multiple ways to do things, as well as you have the Brio Colossalus thing. I'm pretty sure he's playing Cycle as well. That's a 5-card engine we've been talking about for quite a while, of playing Brio, Unicore, Colossalus, Cycle, and Kaleidoscope. Because if you have any 2 of them in combination with Benton, then you just have an amazing board potential, because you can like cycle back Brio and do all this sort of stuff. But from here, I know that he has, what do I know that he has? He has a Scepter and he has a Benton. I know that he has these cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to activate this, and unfortunately I brick, so I don't even think I'm going to win this game regardless. Like that's the issue, is that even if I went first, this hand isn't really that optimal. In fact, this hand would have been unplayable anyway, by the pure standards of what's gonna happen. I don't know why I didn't normal summon this first. It definitely pressures him into wanting to negate this, but it still doesn't matter because my entire deck relies on an extra deck based strategy and theme, and I'm going to be negated by Herald, and I'm negated by Unicore even if I do get to summon anything from the extra deck. Ooh, a Maximum C, but we'll summon this Darkfire Dragon. This gets a counter, and so there's not really anything I get to do. There's like nothing I get to do. The only thing that I get to do is that, let's see. I don't even have a Pendulum Scale, so can't do that, but we can activate this. This isn't a card that I can activate either. This sucks. I'm incentivizing him to like negate this card because then he would go to the graveyard and he would out Kieran forever. But it looks like that's just not going to be the case either. Interesting. But so we'll just overlay these into a Utopia. We will go into Utopia Prime. Well, I have to out the Unicore, and I have to out the Herald. So this is just it. Your opponent can't activate cards or effects. Yeah, this is a problem. I don't have access to putting 2 cards on board. That's the thing. That's the biggest issue that I have right now. Is I can attack over this Unicore, but it's not gonna do anything. I can attack over this, but then the thing is still being negated by Unicore. So it'd be really bad. So you know what? I'm just not going to give away any information. I think I just 100% lose this game. So I'm not even going to give away the information of what I'm playing. Or actually, no, we will just summon it. We'll have it get negated by Herald. Nah, we're just not even going to do it. Like I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm just going to wait until the next game to pop my secret cherry and just go all over the place. But so he has Scepter and he has Sovereignty. So there's no way that I'm winning this game in any way, shape, or form. I'm literally just letting him go through the motions of facilitating game because I have a very anti-scoop policy for these videos unless they start getting incredibly long in terms of the gameplay. Just so that more gameplay is seen. More things can be seen and discerned from about the deck that is being played or that I'm playing against. But so yeah, he just gets to 100% just like end my life and existence. And he's maining Max C, and that's something I definitely need to note. But the thing is that he's maining Max C, and this deck doesn't really care about that. You just do your plays, you do them, and through those plays, you just make a card that says your opponent can't activate any of those cards that they just added to their hand, and then during your next turn you kill them. It's very straightforward. It is incredibly straightforward. But so he's Ouroboros this out of my hand. He has a Fairy Cheer Girl draw. He has all these different things. I kind of want to scoop just because I know that there's no way that I can win. But like, and like the fact that he's just doing extra things kind of like irritates me. And it always irritates me when people do extra things. But then again, I am also very guilty of doing said extra things. where I could just easily have just like poked for game once, but instead I just want to make a different play, just to show that I have the play possible. Like, there's things like that. But now it's double Herald. Oh, oh, I see. But so he's gonna be able to add more fairies, and this should be game, right? I'm at 7,000. That's 36. That is 45, 55 plus this, which is 75. Yeah, that's that. These cards are game right here. But he gets to put another body on board, so that's cool. That's cool and that's good. He can add Necroz Cycle, which he can use with Benton to bring back the Brionac, and then that's definitely game. These are all very interesting and cool interactions, so I'm just letting them happen instead of just scooping and going to the next game. But from here, the Benton gets to add another Benton. He's got a lot of things on his field. He's got a lot of board presence, and honestly, if it comes back to my turn, I'm going to scoop. Like, I don't see any reason for it to come back to my turn in any way, shape, or form. What are you gonna do, add back Max C? What's happening here? What's happening here? I'm curious. What's going on? What's going on, my mans? Did you just click the wrong effect? No, you didn't. No, you added a Herald back. Okay, so that's more fairy negations, I guess, but it doesn't matter. My hand sucks. My hand sucks, dick. There's nothing that can be done about it. That's the unfortunate thing, is that when this deck does break, it breaks really hard. But fortunately, this deck is one that that you want to literally only open with 2 level 4s and 2 level 6s. That's all you want, and then that's all you need to win. Like this hand right here. This hand right here is basically just enough to win. Because I've got access into 2 level 4s and level 6 in the form of Malicious, and how do I do this? I could play Royal Magical Library, but that would only give me 2 draws. I can play Summoner Monk, discard the Argent Force, get Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight sends Malicious. Malicious is a level 6, but then I don't have another level 6 in accessibility, but I do have I don't need to make a rank 6 because I don't need to make the Beatrice, so there's that. Let's see, when a rank 5 or higher sees monster is special summoned to your side of the field while this card is in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So I guess I'm going to be discarding Ignition Phoenix off the Summoner Monk, just to be really straightforward with how this needs to operate. So we'll do this. We'll discard this. It's not the most optimal, but it'll work. It will most definitely work. So we'll summon Armageddon Knight. That'll get Malicious in circulation, and then that means that next turn I can just tribute Malicious for the Kieran, just to summon it and get it out of my hands. But as it stands right now, since I've drawn these cards, what really? What's going on? Okay, it was just a response window, but I didn't see the response window of the little thinking thing happening. So there was that. That as an issue. Now I'm gonna put this first because there's almost no reason to be playing this over the second prime, but this can come up sometimes. So there's that. That's really just the only reason. Does this thing gain attack and defense? I need to make sure. I can't remember if it gains attack and defense. This card gains 1,000 attack and defense. Okay, so I can put it in defense mode, and then that's fine. And the Malicious is chilling in grave, and so now I just get to draw phase, activate this. He can't activate anything for the rest of the turn, and that's pretty good, because then next turn I can have Royal Magical Library, I have Malicious for Kieran, and I can just keep doing this over and over again. He doesn't have any out in his deck to this because he's playing Herald. There's no card that he can activate in his deck. He doesn't have Kaijus, to my knowledge, in the main deck. He doesn't have anything else. He doesn't play Strikes because his entire deck is... The purpose of it is to go first and just summon Herald of Perfection, which is a better strike. So it's very much in my favor here to be doing things the way that I'm doing them. But unfortunately, I didn't get the actual like combo that you're supposed to be doing to make this happen, which is kind of unfortunate. But the combo is literally you just make Beatrice and you send the Argent Force to grave. But I drew the Argent Force, so I guess that's fine. I guess it's fine that I just had it, but I would rather I'd rather do this the other way, you know. I would much more definitely want to do it the other way. Now, what I get to do here is I can attack with these. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack with them. There's really no reason to do anything else. Like, you don't let your opponent play, and this is one of the matchups that just exemplifies like exactly how potent this is. If your opponent's not playing Solemn Strike or Kaiju, they have no out in their deck to Utopia ZEXAL, to Hope ZEXAL. And that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad, and it's also kind of scary. But what I get to do is I can actually make Ptolemy. Is something I can do is I can make Ptolemy with these and detach to add back the Kieran, just so it like has so it's a scale that completes the scale. But I can do that on another turn, or I can do it now. I'll wait. There's no reason to mess around with it at this current point in time. There's really none, because the most that he can do is normal summon something like a Manju and attack over my Malicious. That's the extent of his plays, is normal summoning a Scepter or a Manju and attacking over my Malicious. That is legitimately the extent. And then Kieran, since I drew it, it allows me to just bounce cards back to his hand, and then I get to tribute summon the Kieran again, or I get to pendulum summon it. Like, there's a few other options there, but this is just game. Your opponent has to have an out to this in their main deck, and if they don't, then got them. Like, it's so sad that this is how it progresses. But I mean, hey, might as well take them, right? Now the problem is that now I'm going to be going second against Herald of Perfection, Herald Necros, even. So like the same problem is going to facilitate itself that happened in game 1, is that this deck very much so has to go first. This deck has to go first. Now it doesn't have to go first, but against a deck like this, against Herald, whoa, it has to go first. There is no way in hell that you can expect me to believe that I can go second against a field of Herald Unicorn without something like Kaiju's in my deck and win. Expect to win. There's no way. I'm completely expecting to lose this game because of the basis of what I'm playing against. We're both playing really degenerate first turn decks, and it is very much just a die roll heavy game. This video is very die roll induced, very die roll heavy because of the cards that we're playing, because of the decks we're playing. He just like straight opened Unicorn Kaleidoscope. Like, it doesn't even matter. He just straight opened it. Like, it didn't even matter at all. Oh, do you have Seraph? Do you have Scepter Sovereignty too? That would have been insane. That would have been insane if he just had Kaleidoscope Unicorn, which are both one-ofs in his list. And then if he had Scepter Sovereignty, like, that would have been absolutely insane. That would have been destruction. I don't know how I would have come back from that one. I have no idea how I would have even begun to come back from that one. Is this hand just not capable of summoning Herald? Because if it was capable of summoning Herald, I would have expected a Herald by now. Especially if the Herald was being able to tribute Benton, because then you'd be able to, you know, search your Sovereignty, and then you'd have Scepter Sovereignty. So, oh man, this hand seems shitty. No Benton in sight. I know that he has 2 cards in hand, and one's a Sovereignty and one's a Herald, so all I have to do is negate 2 cards. Broken. Alright, I'm okay with this. I've got 2 level 4s and 2 level 6s, so this is definitely something that we can use to our advantage. Now what I have to do is I have to play this very smart. I've got this, which gives me another level 6, so I've got this. So what I need to do is I need to activate Upstart and see if he negates it. LOL. If he doesn't negate it, then okay, let's roll Magical Library. So this can discard Rhoda. This can get Pendulum summoned. Or this can get Pendulum summoned. Oh. We will do that. We will normal summon this, and what we will do is we will activate this. Yeah. We'll activate this. I need to preserve this Summoner Monk. That's the thing that has to happen, is I've got to preserve it to the best way I possibly can. Now we'll activate this. Let's see if he negates here. It's in his best interest to negate. Yeah, negate here. So that goes away. And then we'll activate this. And that should get negated. and then we activate Rhoda, which gives us another scale in the form of a low scale. Yes, low scale. Low scale. And then we play the low scale, and then we draw a card. And if we draw a spell, then we should be able to just win. That's honestly how it works. Gallant. Okay, this can work. This can work handily. Because what we can do is we can activate this. We can pop these. Gallant is a 2. So what we want to get is we want to get Veteran, which is a 7. And so what we'll do is we'll get those, and we will see what we can do here. Now it's kind of unfortunate that we're not really doing any of the cool nonsense that like I basically wanted to play this deck for. But I mean, hey, it's whatever at this point in time, isn't it? Now what I can do is I can special summon all of these, and from here is where things actually get pretty interesting. In that I'm pendulum summoning this monk. And I've got 2 counters on this. So I'm going to activate this, popping 2, and I'm going to add just a card that doesn't matter, Templar. I'm going to activate it, get my 3rd counter, draw another card, and if that card is a spell, then amazing. If it's Argent Force, even better. That's Utopia Change Tactics. Oh, God! We're going to draw more cards! Yo! Now the problem is that I can't get 2 6s on the board with what I've done. And that's the issue. But what we do have is we have the capability of just drawing more cards and powering into things. Now I have the out to the Herald. That's another Summoner Monk. That's not what we want. We'll summon this, and we'll pay another 500 to draw a card. That's also not a spell. Damn it, man! You're breaking my balls. And so now what we'll do is we'll make this Utopia the Lightning, and we'll use Change Tactics to draw another card. That's also not a spell. That's in fact the card I want to summon off Summoner Monk. God damn it all. Alright, so now what I can do is I can summon another Utopia. We're just going to keep going with this Change Tactics. We're just going to keep going until we get to something. Oh, there's the spell. And I also don't have enough targets left in deck for it, apparently. How do I not have enough targets left in deck? What's the rest of my situation looking like? I clicked to summon my Utopia Prime. There it is. I was like, why is it not letting me do it now, of all times? And there's Malicious. These were the bougiest draws I think I've ever seen in my life. But it's okay, because it works. And now I'm 3,000 lower. Is this, destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls and banish them. But, I pay down to 10. So that's not something I want to do. 100% not something I want to do. So we'll discard these, we'll get rid of these, and then this can attack over the Emerald. And so he has access to some cards that I'm not quite a fan of, but I just didn't draw a spell until I literally overlaid the Monk. And that's sad, because these were the cards I wanted to get off the Monk. I wanted to draw a spell off of Monk. I wanted to draw a spell off this, which, I mean, almost over half my deck is spells at this point. And, like, that's another painful decision. Apparently it's not live. That makes me sad. Sad sauce, sad panda, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's irritating to a degree. But this lets me send Malicious. I can use this Malicious to summon the other Malicious. And then I can put the Kieran in my scale. And then I can Pendulum Summon. The Gallant. Or I can just Pendulum Summon the Malicious. That seems better. The Malicious isn't doing anything, whereas those are Pendulum monsters. And so we'll mess with this. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to overlay into this Beatrice. I'm going to use Beatrice to send my Argent Chaos Force. And then I'm going to overlay into my Gaia Charger to add the Argent Chaos Force to my hands. And I'm going to put it on top of my Utopia Prime to make my Utopia ZEXAL, my Hope ZEXAL. That way, I've got this thing, and this is huge. I have no idea how I won this game going second, but damn. Well, I know how. It's just he had a very subpar opening hand. very subpar. That's kind of the risky run playing Herald, but I mean he had the potential to dig for more combo pieces. He tried. He definitely tried. I cannot give him any credit other than that he tried. I cannot give him any less credit than saying that he tried, because this deck is actually really cool. I really like the concept of the Herald Necros deck, and it's a list that me and Osley have talked about from time to time again, off and on, as we have tested Herald. Just testing those 5 cards and like potentially playing them, because Unicorn is a floodgate, and like it makes so many matchups very clear cut in the way that like you get to search it, summon it, and then it facilitates you summoning Herald. It's a floodgate that facilitates you summoning Herald, so it is technically a floodgate while also being an engine card, and that's really cool. But anyway, this video didn't really showcase the combo I wanted to showcase, which is strange because this entire deck is built around that combo, but I mean, hey, I guess it just means that this deck is not the greatest in terms of consistency wise, or maybe the person that this deck is inspired from got really lucky over and over again, or maybe I just haven't had a big enough sample size. That's probably more likely it. But anyway, I might play with this deck in the future. Let me know what you guys want to see, if you want to see more of this deck, and maybe see more of like it potentially doing the thing turn 1 that it's supposed to be doing. Leave a like for this video to show your support, and I will take that as a incentive to wanting me to play this deck again. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you want me to play this deck again. But other than that, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to Facebook, Twitch, background music playlists, all that sort of stuff for resource free to use. Other than that, if you like this video and you want to see more, give this video a thumbs up to show your support. And also, if you know some people that might also like my content, I encourage you to share my content around to them and maybe encourage them to subscribe as well. Helping the channel grow is, as I've already said, a fantastic way to show your support. But other than that, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for your time as usual. Thanks for watching, and as always, guys, take care.